Gross, right? So let me explain. Okay, first of all, welcome our guest, Christina Cosmopolitics. Hello, thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
As
Delighted
people
to
can
have
see,
you.
yeah, and Jake, always a pleasure.
We're twinning.
That I mean, we're global. Oh,
Yeah.
hold
Wow.
hold the phone or
Your
the
glove is
webcam. Look
Put
at
the phone
this.
down. Put
Yes.
the phone down.
Well, hello there, my
Hi,
friend.
Follow
Andrea.
after me. Put the
Hello.
phone down.
People were just beginning to demonstrate a degree of outrage that you
A
weren't
riot
here.
was about to ensue.
In the chat, they were very
Is that
upset.
real?
Now, did you come on because you saw the picture that I put? Oh, great. There we go. That's great. That's typically Jake's move, and it happens at least an hour in. So I'm assuming that she saw the pickles. Did you see the peanut butter and pickle image I put up? Is that why you jumped on?
No.
No.
Oh. Well,
It's
bread
the
and
worst
butter.
of, right?
Yeah, that is not good.
No.
So my
Did I-
father-in-law came home from the grocery store and I
Oh.
saw him unpack those and I was like,
Ooh,
those are the bad ones.
that's not good. Yeah, your father has terrible taste.
Still
And you
pickles
should
all
be
the way.
ashamed. I had pickle peanut butter ramen recently.
Well, yeah,
What do you-
that makes sense. That
I could
It
kind
does?
Yeah.
peanut butter flavored ramen makes sense. Like I like it's kind of used in like making like different types of ramen.
Does it exist
had-
already?
Yes.
I hope not.
I can
I've
go
had
into a
Thai
bodega
food.
and buy this.
With peanut sauce.
Oh, okay.
Not.
Yeah.
So
okay.
in that vein, yeah. I
So
see it.
this is how it all started. Andrea's promoting pickle and peanut butter sandwiches. Jake ate one on air, nearly yacked. And I was voting for that, by the way, but he raised enough super
all
chat
an
money
act.
to do it. And then, no, it was genuine gross out. But then I started trying to figure out more like refined ways to do this, right? Like, is it a cucumber and Thai peanut thing? That's been done on crackers, sort of. So, Jake,
Sure.
you're right. Maybe the ramen thing isn't that weird to me.
There we go. Slowly, he's being won over. And I gotta say, despite
It's
my
very
reaction,
slowly.
I was won over on the broad concept. It must be said, Andrea got a bit of a Montreal screw job on this because the controversy was I used ingredients that are older than your nan.
Subpar, to say the least.
And so that's where we got very serious about the ingredients, reached out to our friends at Pickle Monster, and they got back to us and said,
Hey,
what I would do
don't
is
speak
an
for me.
organic
They're
crunchy that
not
you
my
stir,
friends.
right? Stir the
Mm.
jar. I don't know. I mean, just, and then
Well,
when you put
gotta-
it on bread,
the oil separates, so you got to reintegrate it with the butter.
this is all coming down to somebody paying me to eat one on air, right?
Oh yeah,
Have you
But
ever
I
heard
do
the
clearly-
anything I can.
It's
I don't
still
have-
Jake's most profitable week in the entire quarter of a century.
Well, there are people who mix their peanut butter and jelly together first before putting them on the sandwich, and I'm like,
Reasonable.
That's just that is psychopathy and
Nonsense. It's
we need to
perfectly
bring straight
reasonable.
jackets
What
back
country
for
does that happen in?
I don't
Because
know,
that's not
but-
happening in America.
United States of America, a little town called Dearborn, Michigan, my friend.
Doubt it. I highly doubt it.
I want to know the exact ratio ahead of time. All right.
Yeah.
I could and will go into an extended rant on this. I'm going to do us and the fact that we want to grow an audience a favor by not. But I want you to know it's an
Well,
act of love and
I just want
willpower.
to say, fuck jelly. Peanut butter sandwich
yeah.
is fine. You don't need
Yes.
jelly.
Exactly. You do not need. I'm not. My mom likes. This is how my mom. She likes. The only thing she gave when she was pregnant was like a slice of bread, half a like a container of peanut butter, half a container of jelly on that slice of bread, and some cold milk. Like we go through peanut butter with the like less than a week, and it's like the regular size like Skippy peanut butter that's like this big, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
do you have enough bread for your peanut butter?
Wow.
All right, I'm going to throw this at you.
Okay.
Peanut butter with a little honey. Already mixed
Oh
in.
yeah. Done.
Yeah.
Done.
I
And
noticed it's
bananas.
Can you point us at the ingredients list on there? Is there real honey in there, or is it artificial honey?
You know, this is some
Yeah.
Kroger brand, right?
Yeah, it's like it's the very last ingredient. But
That's how you
yes,
know.
there
So
is.
there's like less than 0.001%.
Are there quotation marks around the word honey?
Oh, it says honey, but it's at the end and it's got a picture of a waitress winking at you. So maybe that's supposed to be her.
Oh, as long as it's not a scientist winking at you, like lab grown honey. But hey, Charles Schultz, creator of Peanuts, that's
Mhm.
Snoopy and Charlie Brown and the gang,
Yeah.
used to eat grape jelly only for breakfast. And he would go to a diner and they just knew what he wanted. They would just bring him jelly.
Just like jelly?
Yeah. And he would go out.
Would he eat it like a
get it.
dog, like face in, or like?
That's a good question. I assume he had a spoon.
Jeez.
But like, come on, man, live a little. I don't know, creature of habit. Okay, so I still like. I know I'm going on about the peanut butter and pickle. I'm sorry, cut me off at any time.
I
But
refuse. I'll cut
I
your head off.
still like the idea that on one of these episodes, Jake goes to the store
Yes.
on air, and where Andrea's like, "Nope, pick that one," right? Getting the exact right ingredients, and then he's in his car making the sandwich, eating it. Did I add that part just
weeping.
now?
That's new.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that we keep adding this. Christina, I invite you to add anything you want to this production meeting that this has turned into.
Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, there are people on TikTok who make a living just trying out like food, anywhere. Costco food, fast food. Like they sit in their cars and they, give out like what, this could like I don't know if you guys heard of like crumble cookie, like it's like you get like all these different types of cookies, and like there's people who eat like a plain sugar cookie. They're like, this cookie is lacking any type of personality. Do not recommend it. And I'm like, personality is a fucking it's a sugar cookie. What do you mean?
You got to come up with something to talk about.
Yeah,
I would do hot sauce. I would do hot sauces all day and night.
When
Look,
are we doing
well,
the fucking hot sauce challenge?
I
Let's
did
go.
that. I did that on my Twitch one time. The Hot Ones challenge. I had like season 22s.
oh
I
yeah.
would say, I thought my makeup was gonna melt off. I thought I was gonna be in tears. I thought that I was gonna vomit. Like everything. The only ones that killed me were like ones that gave me like a reaction were the bomb.
Yeah.
And then the last dab experience. That's it. Like
So
even then,
was that
wasn't.
Was that the last dab, the yellow label, or was it the Apollo one? Which one was it? Do you remember? Was it like a gold label or a yellow label?
I think it was the gold.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So you and I don't want to dox you.
Yeah.
We're not that far from Fort Mills, which is where Pucker Butt Pepper Company is, and that's where you can get all of the hot ones. That's owned by the guy who came up with the Carolina Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good Lord.
I have
The
access
mad
to
scientist.
yeah. I have access to some of the hottest peppers you can get.
Like a lot of like people were like, "Oh my god, you're gonna like get diarrhea, your stomach." Nothing of that happened. I think it's because I have a high tolerance for spices.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that
most
doesn't
of the
happen to
people that go
everybody.
on that show are like, "Oh my god, keep in mind, I've only seen one episode. I've only seen the Bob Odenkirk episode." So
Let me
Good
tell you,
one.
I remember Margot Robbie in the cast of Birds of Prey because she did that Harlequin movie. She came the first one. She's like, "Oh my god, it's so spicy," and she's like, "I'm Australian, so the only thing I really eat is mashed potatoes." And I'm like, "Oh girl, you're gonna die." And she's like, the first one, she's like, "Oh, it's so spicy," and I'm like, the first one.
Yeah, if you're wimping out on the first one, you got a long road. So I just got a hot sauce called General's hot sauce, and the container shaped like a hand grenade.
Oh.
And it's only like I think all their employees are veterans, which is
Mhm.
okay. But like they have names like Danger Close and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So it's all like military or like war terms and stuff. So I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna get it and see if the gimmick is the hand grenade container or if it's actually hot.
Is it like
Pretty good.
glass? Can you
No, it's
refill it?
plastic. My wife said they need a pin that you pull out of there, and then it needs to be like a squeeze bottle, and it'd be way cooler. And I was like, it's actually not a bad
Oh,
idea.
yeah.
But the hot sauce
handle.
is great. The hot sauce is great. It's 86% peppers, so they're not using powders and stuff like that. It's hot. It was really good, and I didn't get their hottest one, which is a Reaper. So I'm going to go to the farmers market this weekend and grab it.
Nice.
Nice.
What about the one chip challenge? Oh, somebody says it killed a guy.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's like
Whoa.
fake news though, because like there was like a kid who like ate 10 of them in a row or some shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't
it's
like
hard-
they took one and then died instantly. They ate
the
10,
10 chip
and then
challenge.
like didn't drink any water and shit like that. Now I say this, I ate like 3 at that one time. I did 3 in like a 30-minute sitting, and I'm not gonna lie to you, that fucked me up a little bit.
And they
It
say
fucked me up
don't
the
even
next day, like not
don't
really
even
there.
drink water when you're eating something very, very hot. They say they're like ice cream. They're like dairy products is the best thing for you. I had a little big thing of ice cream and some milk. Didn't really need that. I just had like a little spoonful. That was fine. And a little drink of sip of milk, and that was fine.
I go for
I wanna
water because
do-
I love the experience of the spice getting everywhere. I love sometimes it leaks out of my mouth a little bit, and then I'm
Oof.
burning from the neck down.
I think water for me because I want to enjoy what I'm eating, and I feel like milk or ice cream would cancel out whatever flavors
Well,
going
yeah,
on. But
that's the thing. That's why people recommend it, because it
They
does
say-
cancel the heat.
don't do carbonation. But
I
beer
love
and wings
carbonation.
go well together.
Yeah.
When I was a
True.
line cook, I was the saute chef, and there was a guy, a waiter, who was always trying to get us to make this one like chipotle sauce in this one dish, get us to make it as hot as possible. And he would ridicule us and be like, "It's not hot. You guys don't make hot stuff." And I was like, "All right, we got to figure this out." So one of the other chefs, who was a buddy of mine, was growing his own habaneros, and I said, "Just give me the seeds from those. We'll try that." And then another cook said, "I'll tell you what to do. Mix the seeds in honey and add it at the end. That way, when he eats it, the honey and the seeds stick to the top of your palate, the roof of your mouth, and you really don't get affected by it until you go for a swig of water and then wash that stuff down by itself."
Mm.
And I was like, that sounds complicated.
It's a death trap.
Let's see if it works. So this was like a fair-skinned redheaded guy, right?
Ooh.
And I've never seen anyone like a cartoon turn red like a thermometer. It was amazing. he was trying to like act like he was tough, and we were like, we got him. And we were all standing there like, we got him. He was dying. But that's a little prank you can pull out there, you guys. Put the seeds in
Noted.
honey.
I'm gonna prank
I
myself.
love eating the seeds on habaneros and jalapenos. Like the seeds are really great. Like
Yeah,
whenever I'm
same.
on the cutting board, I collect the seeds and then like put them in as like a condiment on top when I'm done.
We
I
got
don't
the
know if
gut
that's
chat.
food science or food warfare.
Mm.
Yeah,
Good
what's the
call.
difference?
Um,
Science and warfare go hand in hand.
True.
Well, and just so you guys know, I'm not putting the best comments up on screen. They're a little too good. But
We usually put the worst on screen so that
we
we
got-
feel better about ourselves.
we got some good comments going tonight.
I noticed that we have like an explorer theme. Like everyone's got an atlas going
Yeah,
on.
I'm totally
That was
not
last
being
minute.
held hostage right now.
Okay, that's good.
It's awesome.
Also, hi, Pinky.
Yeah, and I have my globe. So
Yeah, if you have anything
smart.
map or world related,
yeah,
Yeah.
can you
Have
be
that.
international in any way, Andrea?
No, I'm very
Oh,
national.
okay. Well,
I have Japanese PlayStation games. Does that count?
yeah.
yes.
uh,
Also, are
officially.
those Pokemon behind you? I feel like that almost counts.
Where?
on
Your
the shelf.
shelves.
That's a chocobo.
Creeping around the room. What are you talking about?
That's a chocobo. It's a
I'm an idiot.
Minecraft bee. It's Appa.
Fair enough. Actually, a chocobo looks enough like a Pokemon that I don't feel bad, but fair enough. I should have
Yeah,
known.
well, it's the chocobo from the Chocobo series of spin-offs. So it's
Oh.
cartoonized and stylized like pretty good instead of the realistic looking weird ones. I never played Final Fantasy. I've only played the spin-offs.
There, you
Cool.
know what? Controversial opinion. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. Look, I have a short list of things that I want to ask about tonight.
Oh, yeah, we
because
should
we have a
get to it.
guest. Check this out. I'm just gonna read. This is my list.
Hmm.
PB and pickles. Check. We can move on.
Done.
Officially move on from that. I have Sunny, Anna, Cicada. So we don't have to go in that order, but let's just get the cicada out of the way. How are they in your neck of the woods, Christina? Are you inundated?
Nah, I don't really think so. I mean,
Oh,
I think
really?
I have a sound machine, noise machine, so I don't really notice them. I mean, I hear them like whenever, like it's like if I'm taking the dogs down the backyard, like in the evening, that's when I hear them. But then, like, they haven't really been that bad. But I'm like a cicada myself. I just scream into the void.
No, it's biblical where I am. I thought
Oh.
maybe because you were close that you would be experiencing something like this. It's not. Okay, it just look today. It literally seems to be over. They're at a place now where they were flying and landing, and now they're just flying into things,
Mhm.
including me. I was
Mm.
sitting out back on my deck with a tennis racket for the last month, just like a literal tennis racket. Not one of my good ones, one of my practice ones. But
Mhm.
anyway, okay. So I've never experienced anything like this. Very biblical where I am.
It really
I just found
depends.
one giant cicada husk, but it giant, but it was in my time machine, which was weird. If you got that, hi nerds, and we'll move on. It's an anime reference. I'm glad you guys have fended off the cicada attack thus far.
Well,
not for long.
there is. I guess we do have to circle back for a second
I
about.
want to hear the drama.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
look
know,
at
I know,
my
I know.
Or
I know.
Always
But-
Sunny.
I had
I'll
like
take
30
either.
notifications. I got tagged in one of those, so I was reading up on some shit happened.
Yeah.
So I'm looking.
Well,
forward.
okay,
I don't
but
know
real
anything
quick,
yet. All right,
real quick. I just want to get this out of the way. I was back to the peanut butter stuff because it's peanut butter and also bread and butter pickles. Have you seen the rumors going around about butter?
Oh.
Well, don't ask me. I'm not going to spread them.
Oh. Good dad joke.
Zinger.
Mhm.
Okay, Jake's leaving. Good night, Jake.
Yeah, I want to give an update on.
Hold on, let me
on-
just check some of these
something.
things off my list. Dad joke. Okay.
So about like a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I said
Yeah.
I had like tinnitus in my ear.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It went away. So I have
Hmm.
more. I have more to
Good.
say about that.
That's
Okay.
good.
Well, I was ready to live the rest of my life with tinnitus. I had made terms. I had made peace with it. And then I woke up and it was gone. And you know what
Damn.
I immediately did? I was listening to music and I was like, wow. So I feel like my hearing is better. I've evolved. I have like super hearing now. Like I notice everything. I'm cherishing the hearing, you know?
Good.
And on that note, I got an eye injury today. I hurt my eyeball.
Oh,
So
what happened?
now I'm looking forward to the same thing happening with my eyesight.
Mm.
Oh, the healing. Okay, so the eye actually heals if you can take the pain. The eye apparently will heal in like 24 hours.
Yeah, well, I smashed myself and I hurt my eyeball. And the
I-
entire side of my face. I don't know.
I-
There's some marks on my face if you can see it.
One time I was coloring
Sorry.
with colored pencils and I put one down in a pile and another one bounced up and hit me right in. It scratched my cornea. And so I go to the ER, tremendous pain. And they said, we're going to put a numbing agent in it. This is not the only time it hurt my eye, by the way. I
Oh,
hope
yeah,
it never happens
famously
again.
with the tree branch.
Yes, exactly. Because I blinked so hard, I scratched my eye. Unbelievable that can happen. But they put the numbing agent in it, and then the doctor put like a neon dye in my eye, and he said, "Come in here." And went into a dark room. He said, "Look in the
Gonna give
mirror,"
you
and I could
90s vision.
see, I could see neon orange scratch on my eye,
Yeah.
and it was a trip. So it healed.
I would drop dead if someone turned the lights off and I could see like glowing shit coming. I would drop dead.
It was cool.
It would be instantaneous.
I'm like, why would
I
you do
would
this
be
to
dead
me?
immediately.
It made it
I
worth
would not
it.
survive.
But
Look at your pain.
Yeah.
That's rad.
I mean,
it made
I
it
got.
worth it. But
I mean, I've been struck by lightning, so I feel like I feel like that I don't need to have a broken bone.
Okay.
Because I've been struck by lightning, so.
That's
circle
great.
back, start over. How did that happen?
Yeah.
So I was like 8 years old.
in a
We have
cave.
like we have like this family park on Richardson's Lake. It's like community water park. It's gone downhill since the new owners took over like 20 years ago. But we were all, in the water, soaking wet. It started raining. We went inside the concession, which is wet cement and wet sand. So we're all soaking wet. I'm leaning against a plugged-in jukebox. Lightning comes and strikes me, bounces right on me. And I was literally like stuck to the jukebox. Like you couldn't get me off. So we had to unplug it and then yank me off of it.
Like your muscles contracted so much that from the lightning?
Well, like the electrical charge from the jukebox being plugged in, I guess like it was like I was almost like a magnet. And
Wow.
So
A human magnet.
yeah, literally. And what was funny about it is that people who get struck by lightning become very artistic afterwards. So I was coloring, I was drawing, but then all that went downhill with my art teacher in middle school because she expected all of us to be like Picasso. So like that died real quick.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's okay. No video or photo?
Nope.
I'm not saying
It was-
I don't believe you. I just
It was
wanna
like in
see it.
2002,
I am saying that just for
I think is what happened. I mean, it was weird. Like it just happened. I was like, what?
That's
I also
are-
had
wild.
What are the
I've
odds?
also had I know. I've also had third-degree burns on the back of my leg when I was a baby. Candle wax literally fell on me because I was a baby dragging a tablecloth with candles on it, and you couldn't even tell which leg I got burned because my mom took very good care of me. Plus, I had very, very sensitive baby soft skin, so like they didn't have to like remove skin and do like skin grafts or anything like that. My mom literally tugged on my skin and would like put the like band-aids and bandages back on, wash it, and again, I can't even tell you which leg. I know I've survived a lot. I'm not gonna wood. I've never broken a bone.
The lightning striking
either.
thing,
So we're in
being
the
struck
same
by
club.
lightning, that's a very small club to be in.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, what?
Do you
I
like
mean,
have like visual memory like of the during process?
I do remember seeing the lightning hit me, like it was like a ball and just bounced off of me. It was crazy.
And then like did you just wake up in a gutter somewhere? Or like what happened next? Like do you remember the whole sequence?
They had to unplug the jukebox.
But
in order to
you
remove me.
recall that.
Yeah, I recall that. And they had to literally like I couldn't walk for like a hot minute. Like I was literally like limped, like very much limping. So they literally had to like carry me and sit me down. And once the storm passed, it took a while for the storm to pass. Then we all just decided to leave.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Because I
That's
couldn't
basically an end of the day.
I couldn't
Right
move.
there. Did you know immediately what had happened?
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, I got hit by lightning. Like, it was weird. It was so like you don't remember what it feels like, but like I remember what I saw. I just wish I could remember what it felt like. Because it's almost like childbirth. See, when it comes to childbirth, the body tricks you into forgetting what giving birth feels like.
That's why people do it again, right?
Yeah. Female
Amateur mistake.
Yeah, female like humans are the only species
mistake.
that like like pregnant people are like the only ones, like humans, they're able to like the body trains them to forget. Because I always ask my mom, like, what did going into labor feel like? What did it? She's like, I can't even tell you. I don't remember. So I'm like, I can't. So when people ask me what it felt like to get struck by lightning, I'm like, I don't remember what it felt like, but I remember what I saw.
Wow.
Fair.
Crazy.
Wild.
Yeah.
How old again? You probably said it, but how old were you?
8.
Oh, my God. All right. Tough kid
Yeah.
and tough lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wonder, like, because understandably you'd be a little paranoid after that, but of what?
Lightning.
The universe? I mean,
Yeah.
who's
I'm
out to
literally-
get you now? It's so random.
I'm terrified of lightning. Like whenever
That's a
I
good answer.
am like outside in like a thunderstorm, I'm like, I gotta get inside because I've been in situations where we've been to like a pool and it started storming and like we were trying to get the kids out of the pool, but they wouldn't. And all of a sudden this big thing of lightning just lights everyone up and I'm like, oh my God, it's right here. I'm gonna get hit again. Oh my God, it's gonna happen again.
It's like your Jason Voorhees. You
Yeah.
hear thunder. Everybody else hears it. You hear ch ch ch.
Andrea, do you know who Jason Voorhees is?
Are you insane?
Okay. Hey,
I was going to say, of everybody here, if I had to bet who knows for
yeah.
sure who Jason Voorhees is, I would have gone
Yeah.
Andrea.
I don't know a lot about stupid shit, but I definitely know my horror.
All right.
Team Freddy all the way, just say.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Freddy
I think
versus Jason. I'm still waiting for the sequel.
Yeah.
That was rad. That was one of the few mashup movies I genuinely loved.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
long
wish
for
they
the-
would have just kept going like the Marvel universe. It was too early for that, but like I would have loved to see Freddy versus Jason versus Alien.
How come they never
Yeah.
had kids? I just, you know what I'm
What?
saying? Like,
I know they made it into comic books, like Freddy versus Jason versus Ash and all that. So I was like,
Yeah.
this is
Oh.
interesting.
And then
now you're talking
then
about
that goes into the Marvel universe
Yeah.
greater, and he winds up in the Zombie comics. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
hey,
Love
we're
it.
talking comics, and I didn't initiate it. It's amazing. Hey, you know, that's like being struck by lightning. It just, you cannot count on it.
It's the
Well,
second comic reference of the evening.
Well, honestly,
You only
after
understood the second one?
after seeing Rob McElhaney like notice my meme on Twitter, I'm like, hell yeah. Like
Check this out. Because weren't we talking about this on this show? This portal?
yeah. It's also perfect that Charlie is in Dublin, I think, because like
Yes.
Mac would be pissed because if we all watched the most recent season about, you know, them going to Ireland, Mac is led to believe that he's not Irish, he's Dutch.
Yeah.
And I was literally like, everyone was tagging Rob McElhaney, and I'm like, Rob McElhaney's the last person who's going to see this. He's not going to see this. And then I go and check my phone because I like to, you know, check Twitter when I should be working on a house. And the first thing I see is him with like the laugh emojis. I was like, it happened.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
87,000 likes.
Yeah,
Almost
0.9 million
8,000
views.
retweets. That's
Yeah.
big.
So
Yeah.
you're
And-
famous now, is that right?
I guess so. I mean, I did help write the one season of It's Always Sunny technically when they come back from COVID. When they were talking about what they were catching up on, like what they've been doing since like with their PPP loans, I basically kind of described like that episode. I tagged them on a story, and like the next thing I know, when the season premiered, I was like, did they take like my concept and like make it into an actual like script, an actual episode? Nice.
I know you're not trying to start beef, but I hope they let you wet your beak a little bit. Come on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look.
That's phenomenal.
I just got to say, though, banger image. Like,
Yeah.
you made
Yes.
this, right? The graphic, it's great. It's hilarious. Everything about this is funny. Of course, he retweeted it. It's genuinely a great. This is what Twitter's for, if you ask
Yes.
me. This kind
It
of
should be.
wit and humor combined is brilliant. So good job. I
Mhm.
like it. And what's funny is I saw your reply or your quote tweet of his quote tweet, and that's how I
Yeah.
found out about this because I'm never on.
Yeah.
I barely get on Twitter at all anymore. And when I do, I just sort of carpet bomb like the first 4 or 5 things I
Yeah.
see and then get out of there. But
Absolutely.
Yeah.
carpet bomb, that's an okay term, right? Has that been, are we not allowed to use, do you know, Andrea, do you know what I mean by carpet bomb?
Oh, I know you're making a reference to all those IDF TikToks that you're trying to repost because you're a huge
Oh,
fan.
no, I was talking about like World War One.
Mhm.
Just for context, audience, Matt hates Cambodians. So I like how we all just take turns putting Matt in a worse and worse
I
spot.
did just rewatch The Killing Fields. Did you ever see that?
All right.
Have you guys covered that?
No,
Christina?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Just so the regular viewers of LPT exclamation point know, Christina is one of the co-hosts on Movie Night Extravaganza, which comes on every Tuesday night. It's a fantastic show. It is so good. The hosts are so good. I've been on it a couple times. There's always like this. I don't know if chaos is the right word. There, when you have that many hosts with all A-type personalities, I go on there and I'm like, I'm suddenly the quiet one, and you really got to find your way in,
It's
right?
like fucking
And
navigating the hedge maze and The Shining, getting through to these motherfuckers.
And for those who don't know, Sam Cedar has been on a few times. We got him on because Conan, our co-host, there was that Give Them a Revolution event where all the good like left-leaning podcasts come together, and I wasn't there because I was dog sitting here. But Forrest, Annie, Conan were all involved. Conan approached Sam about coming on the podcast, and his whole thing was like, we have this female co-host who's smart and beautiful, and it's very attractive and has a crush on you. Basically, Conan picked me out to Sam, and Sam agreed to come on, and so he's like now like a bit of a regular, and everyone keeps asking me like, "Well, if you
response, please. I've said since 20.
I'm sorry, my bad. Please go.
And so everyone keeps harping me not asking Sam out on a date. So next time he comes on, I'm going to ask him out.
Do it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
Good
this
Omen.
stuff.
Good Omen. Right.
Yes.
Sam is near. That clip was from my previous show. I'm sorry. I had electricians in my
Amateur
house
hour?
today.
No.
I think I told you last week all my smoke detectors went off at once this day last week. Today they were all replaced while they were here. My internet and everything's been havoc. I'm sorry.
And that has something to do with your operation of the software, apparently. The smoke detectors going off a week ago means that
it's a ripple effect. There's a ripple effect. I'm just off my game now. Look, getting back to asking Sam Cedar out on a date. Let's take a moment and maybe we can help. So
I got an idea for this.
Okay, you first. I mean, I'm assuming that Christina hasn't thought about it beyond she's going to do it, but let's just act like she asked us for advice.
Just real quick role play. We're gonna force our way here. Real quick role play. Christina, we're just practice run. You be you. I'll be Sam, cause of course. Matt, you be me. You'll know when to jump in.
Who can I be?
You be Matt.
You be you. Oh, you be me.
Yeah.
This makes sense.
But you're watching. So Andrea, you're Matt watching. So we'll need running commentary. Christina, go for it. Just Sam Cedar's here. He's saying, "Hi there, Christina. I'm Sam Cedar."
Hi, Sam. You've been on the podcast quite a few times. And I understand you got on the podcast because of me, not the humble brag or anything. But I was wondering, if any case, would you ever want to go out on a date?
Maybe real quick. let me just call somebody. I'm just gonna call a streamer from Michigan real quick.
Okay. Hello.
Ring, ring.
Hello. This is Jake.
Hi there. Are you do you want to go out on a date tonight with me, Sam Cedar?
Hey, Sam. This has got to stop. You're calling me like 3 times a day, asking me these bizarre.
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, let's do it, Christina.
It's gonna go back to my peanut butter and pickle sandwiches over here. Hold on, no. Okay, this is what I think.
Was that planned?
I think Andrea is doing her impression of me perfectly, by the way. I'm just
I
gonna put
agree.
that out there right now. But and thank you for doing it so handsomely. So here's the thing. I think that when you bring it up to Sam, you should just say, Sam, you and I are going out on a date. Okay, I'm tired of this virtual thing.
Yeah.
There's a connection between us that's stronger than Wi-Fi, and we have to acknowledge it. See, that's
Yeah.
good, right, Jake? The
Gold.
connection between us is stronger than this.
This virtual.
Ad. Yeah,
If you're looking for a new wife,
I
Not
know
too
that's the
much.
point.
you could say,
Boy.
Sam, you're not on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, and if you are, you got to get off. But and he'll be like, okay, that's a plus, right? You got to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
I mean,
maybe you don't have to try and win him over.
The
like
fun
that.
fact: the first time he came on, I wore a nice little top. You know what I mean? And one of my mods and Forrest highlighted this on stream and said was like, "Oh, Sam and Christina are in competition for who's showing booba," and I was like, and then Sam saw the comment. He's like, "We're in a competition." I was like, "Yeah."
Okay. Now, there is a slight chance that Sam already has a girlfriend. Who knows? Or that he's dating.
More
All's
like
fair.
carbon dating. Have you seen the gray in that?
man's a silver fox.
Good
That
one.
was well done, Andrea.
Silver fox. Let's go.
Yes. You know, when I go to the barber, other barbers come over to admire my salt and pepper. And I feel it's a little weird.
It's a little weird.
All female barbers, but in an all male barber shop. So they just do guys' hair, but they're all women who work there. And they come over and they're like,
It became
"Ooh,
less
look
weird.
at the blend in the back is whiter than the front," and they really admire it. And I'm like, this is weird. But
That's like when I'm looking at my dog's fur when I'm on drugs and I'm just like doing this on his belly.
I've done that.
And just like.
But I don't know if you want to point it out. Do you think it's a deal breaker? Is he like, oh God, all right, bringing up the hair?
I mean, the worst thing you can tell me is no, and I don't mind.
Oh, maybe lead with that. Say, feel free to say no, but
I said to clean. I offered him the second time he came on to clean the studio for free. Like if I ever come back up to Jersey for like a visit to see my sister, and he's like, "Have you seen how dirty the place is?" And I told him, I'm like, "Sam, we cleaned 3-story abandoned mansions with dead roadkill and flooding basements. How bad could this majority report studio be?"
One time I drew a picture of the office, and he goes, "I've never seen it look that clean." So I believe you.
We got to do crowdfunding to get Christina to the office. We will fund this expedition. Once you get to the front door, you're on your own, kid.
They're doing a live show in June or November. Sorry.
Oh,
that's what they said. They're going to do one for election night. There's nothing concrete, but they've said it a couple times.
No, good to know.
Yeah, I'll meet you at the airport. Well, okay. So what movie would it be? He would get to choose the movie? There's no way. Okay, so
just a Meg Ryan marathon.
Any idea what that would be though? Like, has he alluded to his third choice?
We always meet where our guests are, and so when he first came on, he asked to do 3 days in the Condor. We were like, great, awesome, cool, which was a lot of fun.
That's a great movie. I love that. I was on vacation in Isle of Palms when you guys were doing that, and I had the worst Wi-Fi, but I watched it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun.
Oh my God, I love going to the Isle of Palms whenever I can.
Yeah, it was okay. There was a lot of Karens down there, I noticed, but the beach was amazing. I loved it.
I like oh God, there's this place called the Windjammer. That place.
Yeah.
So good. I love it because we literally stay at like the one hotel where you get like a nice like room, kitchen, living room too.
The dunes or whatever.
Yeah,
sand dunes, something like
that. Everything's within walking distance. They have that pizza place. They have the Ben and Jerry like pop up where you can get ice cream. I love it there.
We hung out with the owner of the pizza place. I forget her name, but
yeah, they're so nice.
She was cool.
I love they
forget
give
her
the
name, but I think it was Pete's. Pizza
I think it was
place.
Mrs. Place.
Yes.
Pizza place. Go on.
Okay.
Am I allowed to stop doing my letter hack impression, by the way? Because I've been doing it for the last 30 minutes.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
If you
but
want,
only
it's
just
fine.
now. Yeah.
It's fine. Okay. This is random. I don't know if you guys want to do this. We don't have to. At some point tonight, if you wanted to watch part of R.M. Brown's latest video, we could do. Do you know who that is? R.M. Brown? You guys familiar?
Of
Jake?
course.
Yes, but I'm curious as to the
What's the
context
video?
here. Yeah.
Terrence Howard, the actor, was recently on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he's kind of
Isn't that guy
Lost
fucking
it.
insane? Like he's
yeah, he's kind of lost it.
And at the end, and the whole thing is about that. And R.M. Brown's hilarious the way he handles the videos. I think he went down to the Congo and tried to sell them on some hydrogen structures, and it's just it's so out there. But there was a clip at the end where he's talking about he's confusing currency with numbers. And it's just brilliant stuff. But yeah, so he's on Joe Rogan. He's talking about how his earliest memory was when he was in the womb. And he said when he was being born, he thought to himself, don't forget this. And okay, so here's the thing.
How do you even have a concept of forgetting at that
there
point?
are right.
This
There are
motherfucker's on drugs, dude.
there are so many weird things about that, but what it comes down to is if you're living with any kind of isolation or you're in a bubble because of success or whatever, if you're anywhere near that sort of lifestyle and you have an idea, you must assume it's not an original idea. It's not exclusive to your brain. Look it up. Google it. Try to debunk it. See if somebody's
Yeah.
already had this idea. Do not run with it. And then if you do, don't go on the world's most successful podcast or watched podcast and say what these ideas are like it's genius, because it's not. But he was, you know how they do, I think it's Oxford, where they sit up there with like a guy, an interviewer, and they have like the student body sitting around. You've seen this, like all celebrities get a chance to do this. Cenk
Yeah.
Uygur did it one time.
Oh yeah.
That's not bad. I know Jank isn't great these days, but if for Ivy League college students to hear from anybody, Cenk Uyghur's not a bad one.
Do you
Speaking
want to
of-
watch?
It's going in the right
BRB.
direction.
Okay.
Speaking
Do you
of-
want to watch this clip? Oh, go ahead. No,
I do.
What?
Speaking
Wait
of
a second.
TYT,
Give
Yeah.
me 1 minute here. I'm gonna get something to drink.
Okay. Okay. So
I want to do the TYT thing. / I do also want to see this clip.
okay, we could do the clip later. I am probably obnoxious about how I'm always saying I don't do this.
but you did it.
But if you or if anybody, it doesn't have to be any specific person. If anyone is trying to essentially subtweet Sam Cedar on a podcast or like call him out for being bad faith, you have lost the fucking plot. You do not get it anymore.
Yeah.
Mark my words, if Sam Cedar becomes that person, I'll be the first to let you know, because I'm not going to let anyone get away with that, right? That guy,
My man.
the argument against him for being bad faith or not genuine is BS.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
True.
And
That's like, so if you're saying that, then there you go. Now you're on that side. You just switch sides. And I think of all people, Anna Kasparian would know that's a thing that people say about Sam Cedar. So here's the other thing they say about Sam Cedar, Anna. Debate Sam Cedar. by all means, fucking call into the show. It's not like you don't know him. Not like you haven't talked to him. It's not like you don't have a rapport.
So Anna
Not like you didn't
Kasparian's
have a
fighting
show
with
with.
Sam Cedar. Is that what happened?
She talks shit about Majority Report. Yeah.
Yeah, how dare she? Also, too, for those who don't know, Anna and I were friends for like a good 10 years.
Okay. Here
Oh.
we go.
Like 10 years. So like she was there for me during a lot of rough times. I was there for her during a lot of rough times. She's even pointed that out on the show quite a bit. But what happened was I tweeted out that, it was kind of not smart for TYT to have Ben Glebe on as representative of the Israel voice, like basically representing like the Jewish side of things, considering he basically spews out paid for
He's
by
just a
TYT.
Nazi. Like he's just
Yeah,
a neo-Nazi piece of garbage who makes
just
videos
spews out-
cheering the deaths of innocent people.
Yeah,
Like,
he
he's
just
a
spews
freak.
out IDF propaganda, and that's not really good for the network, in my opinion, homo progressives. And I mentioned
Yeah.
this. I'm like, I get the network wants to have dissenting voices, but we've seen this before. We've seen Dave Rubin. We've seen Jimmy Dore. We've seen what happens when you allow these voices on the network.
Well, and this is
And-
even different than that because Glebe is clearly
Psychotic.
being on camera to talk about this stuff is not helping. If I'm not diagnosing him, but he seems unstable and he
Oh, he
seems
is
like
manic as fuck.
he's
yeah.
very
He's
manic
on like
about
a
it.
6-month bender.
And I don't think that they're helping that situation by platforming him. And I think that it serves
It's like
no
letting
purpose.
Kanye West say "I love Hitler" on Alex Jones' show. Like that's the equivalent.
Even Alex
essentially.
Jones cringed at that, but they just want the volatile drama and they want people popping off. So it's not like they're just bringing somebody on to be fair. They're bringing somebody on to have it be as over the top and wild and crazy as possible. So I'm with you on that. I get your point. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what happened was and it was a Wednesday. It was the anniversary of my father's death, no less. It's been 3 years since he died.
That's
I was
worse.
I was having a bit of a grief siesta, and then a lot of people were messaging me, tweeting at me, and I'm like, "What the hell's going on? I'll deal with it tomorrow." But then there's a video of Anna talking about some longtime viewer about a tweet that had, I swear to God, guys, for those, I did not mention Anna. I didn't mention her name. I didn't mention her team. Nothing had to do with her. It just had to do with the network in general, which is mostly Jake, because Jake does panels with Ben. I don't think Anna does any panels with Ben Glebe at all. So I was like, why is she so bothered about this? But like,
Main character syndrome will do that to you.
yeah. And again, we were friends. She reduced me to like a longtime viewer, and I was like, okay. But a lot of people were like, who's she talking about? Is she talking about you? And then I'm like, yeah, she's talking about me. I know this because I know the tweet. And she also unfollowed me. So I was like, I see how this is. So I was like, I explained, like, I did like a tweet thread about like my relationship to TYT as a longtime viewer. By the way, a lot of us 10 plus year long viewers have basically stopped watching within the last few years because of all the changes with the network, with the content and the views. And I would tell Anna about this too. Like I messaged her, like I'm like, you're making this trans thing a big issue when it shouldn't be. You make a big deal about birthing person. It's not that big of a deal. Like, who cares? Like, seriously, who cares? But like, and she always felt like, she's like, well, why did you ever? She's like, you never abandoned me or this and that. I'm like, well, we've been through a lot, but like, the fact that she just over a tweet that had nothing to do with her, I'm like, what the hell happened to her? It was
Bitch is insane.
It's just, I'm like, what? I'm like, and then of course she talks about Benny all the time. She talks about the TYT mods. I'm like, what in the hell happened to this network? Is there like a gas leak or something? Like,
It's got radon.
To me, you can't. Okay, so straight out of college, you go on this network that only grows, only increases in viewership and subscriptions, and you become the face of it, and very rarely take any genuine time away from it. I mean, a 1 or 2 week vacation doesn't count. I'm talking about not being on air for your whole life.
Yeah.
I think it starts to affect some people.
Yeah, it fucks
and
your brain up.
naturally,
Absolutely.
I don't think it's like a sign of weakness in them. I think that this is what cameras do to you, and exposure and being in the public eye. I think this is what it does. Think of all the it's not the most accurate comparison, but think of all the child stars who grow up and it's like they're weird. Not really. Look at what happens to a person
Yeah.
over time. I mean, it's
Well, I
understandable.
That's a
started,
normal
doing
person's
YouTube
reaction.
and streaming when I was like a teenager, and I'm fucked up in the head. So,
Yeah.
you know, if you
Yeah,
had
but
that idea,
you
don't
have
do it.
us to
Yeah.
balance you out. But
And that's
And you
here's
were doomed from the start. But that's a normal
Yeah.
person's reaction
Yeah.
to a weird situation. You know?
Like I literally would like not talk down, but like try to, work my way around her, like, how she was changing. I'm like, it's not, I'm like, you guys have a big platform, you're very progressive, you got a lot of trends, you got probably a big transgender following. I don't think it's good for you guys to like, basically, go after transgender activists.
Oh, yeah.
And also fall for right wing commentary and like buzzwords and stuff like that, or you're following for like the argument that the right makes, and now you're making that like part of your content, and it's just and also the people
adopting their illogic.
Yeah. And the people that she hangs out with now, like Jesse Single. I had the Adam and Feet, like what's that one
Lilo and Stitch
Lilo
show,
and
who,
Stitch.
by
Yeah,
the way,
they-
invited me on their show, and then 2 weeks later bumped me for someone else and said, "We'll get back to you." Never got back to me. So they're a bunch of pussy ass bitches.
They wanted to do an
Abs.
ambush. They wanted to do an ambush
Yeah.
of me, talk about Zionism, and I'm like, I'm too busy. I don't care. Like, also, too, I wouldn't want to be like 2 against 1. It wouldn't be fair to discuss Zionism.
You don't need to
Like,
go on that
I'll back
shit.
you up.
Yeah, like I was like, okay, I'm not like.
Oh, say you'll do it, and then let it be like Andrea Ravinsky. What a fucking nightmare! Like, do that.
Ah, yes.
No.
The Trojan horse.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in.
I
But
mean, it was-
also, I wouldn't say that they even remember who I am. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
stretch.
But it was just like everyone's like I was like, yeah, they approached me, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, Anna all but mentioned my name. I'm getting all these right wingers who are her friends now, like coming at me and wanting, to be on their like shows and shit like that. And I'm like, I didn't ask for any of that. I mean, I had to say, yeah, it was me, because everyone was like, is it you? Like, and a lot of people were like, yeah, it's you. She's talking about you. And the fact that she shared the clip, I was like, why was this clip specifically put on Twitter? I'm like, was she doing it to like make a notice that
She's just
she was
bored
talking
and she
about me?
wants a new saga. Like, she wants to transition into like a new arc of her career. She's just getting bored.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, her Twitter has never been hers. It's been the TYT hers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I've made this point before when I interviewed John Idarola. I asked him, I said, how does this work? You say whatever you want on Twitter because everyone does. But you're also a host on this show, and so does that reflect the company, or is that your opinion? Those lines are blurred. It's not like you have a separate account where you're like, oh, no, this is the non-host account.
Yeah.
No, it's always associated with that. So when you're not talking about the show, in people's mind, you still are a representative. And I don't think that it's clear. And so, if you're putting stuff on Twitter, it's like, do you have motives, or are you just using Twitter? I can't tell.
That's why Forrest left Twitter, because Anna kind of like suckered a harassment campaign on him in a way by she was talking about Chicago, and he was like, this is like closer to like a black on black crime narrative, and again, some right wing person with a huge following, made a big deal about his tweet and just suckered, just his mentions were just full of these right wingers, and he was like, that's it, I quit Twitter. Like, and he's better off, to be honest. But I'm like, Anna, why? Like,
I think people should, it's easy enough to just walk away, right? Just turn it off. Look at all the alternatives out there. And
Midlife crisis.
I mean the viewers. Like, if you're not into it, leave. You can hit unsubscribe, or you can just stop watching, right? Like, it's super easy to do. What I don't like is when people make an issue out of it for their own content. To me, it's like, all right, let's not do that either, right? Because what I've noticed is that that's sort of look, if every time I went online and said something, and I start out by saying, this is controversial, I know the left is going to come after me,
Yeah.
and then I say it anyway, well, you fucking know what you're doing. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And let's keep in mind,
I do that all the time, so I know exactly what game she's playing.
see, but it's like they have spent years. I mean, how long have they been around?
They're old enough to drink. The
Right,
network's
so-
old enough to drink.
So, they have cultivated and trained their audience to not take any shit off anybody, to say
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
mean, to be, hostile about it, right? To be
Yeah.
caustic about it, to be like full force, full throttle, don't hold back, don't pull punches. Oh,
Yeah.
but they can't take it.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
is
the irony.
the bullshit. They have spent their whole fucking careers being like, everyone should be like, if you're fed up and sick of it, let them know. I mean, come on. Cenk Uygur I didn't watch for like 6 years. I turn it on and he's still yelling at the camera. And I'm like, did he ever stop? This is crazy.
Yeah,
What's going on?
As I got older, that turned me off too. And plus, I was noticing that shift, and I was like, not really.
So
you
is
know.
nobody else supposed to act like that? Is it just like I'm saying, where the lines are so blurred between how they act on camera and how they act when they're not on camera,
Yeah.
like on social media. And so are the viewers supposed to follow suit? Like we only get
Yeah.
mad when we're watching and not when we're not watching, and like
Yeah.
Only
And
get
they're
what-
mad
making
at
the
things we
rules as
say.
they go. What was
yeah,
that?
and
Jake?
what?
No, just the chorus. Only get mad at the things we say to get mad at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like that
And
either.
also, too, what was weird is seeing people who I considered my friends, side with Anna, and I'm like, you do realize she's talking about, like, people were assuming that she was talking about someone else, and I'm like, no, she's talking about me, guys. Like, you stand her so much, and yet she's coming after me, your friend. But
Yep.
parasocial relationships matter more, I guess. Like that I'm like, okay.
Yeah, let's
Here's-
just post like 13 gifs of Anna doing this or something. Because
That's the other thing is, look, I personally, I don't criticize people for having parasocial relationships because I don't know all the factors that led up to that. So
Mhm.
whatever. I can just look away from that stuff just as easily. But if
I
somebody
do, on the
was
other hand.
if somebody was just constantly giving me the parasocial direction or feeding it to me, I would not embrace it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'd feel like, okay, thanks, awkward, moving on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
What-
say
what-
that as someone who draws pictures of Sam Cedar a lot.
Did
Yeah.
you see? Did you see a change in Anna Kasparian over those 10 years that made you nervous or threw up any red flags for you?
Yeah, after COVID, like again, when she was starting about the crime and the homelessness and police and all that, I was like, after 2021 is when I started noticing that difference. I was like, oh, I was seeing those red flags, but I kept, ignoring them because I was like, she mentored me. I've been on stream with her. Everything that I learned about being a woman on the left online, I learned from her. So it's like everything everything that she taught me, I applied in my, what I do here. So I was like, I'm noticing. I didn't really think much of it, but it was just slowly, progressively building. And I just can't believe that a tweet about the network in general, nothing to do with her, is what set her off. But I think she was mad that I, of all people, would say something.
Okay,
It
Here-
seems like
here's-
burning a bridge while she's still on it.
Yeah.
here's
Weird.
the mistake. Okay, first of all, this is a fairly new thing. People being this successful in an independent context, in
True.
independent media context. It's a fairly new thing. I always want to leave room for somebody to course correct, make amends, all that stuff. And being on the left, I feel like we gotta, right? So if somebody
Yeah.
one day was like, let's talk, I need somebody to talk to about this, let's do it publicly, I don't care, let's analyze the situation and try and be as fair and even keeled as possible, I'd be for it. But I think an observation I made within the last couple of years This is the big mistake that people in Anna Kasparian's position make.
Yeah.
You can only speak truth to power for so long before your popularity for doing so makes you the power that needs truth spoken to. If you don't realize that about yourself and your position and your role, you've made a tremendous error, and you need to step back. And maybe you wouldn't be the first person to rethink your career. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? You wouldn't be the
Well,
first person to be like, the camera is not doing me any favors. I don't want to be in front of the camera anymore. And
All
I
you
think
gotta
like
do
you
is
just have to
listen.
realize truth to power. You know where I first heard that term? Anna Kasparian.
Yeah.
And then when you get to that point, first of all, Mazel Tov. Second of all, the only thing you have to do is listen. When you have a bunch of people telling you something, you don't even have to agree with it. But my gosh, I mean, listen. When you have a friend of 10 plus years, as gently as possible, talking about the network you're a part of, the correct reaction, even if you don't agree with their opinion, is to discreetly think it over and maybe message them if you've got questions. But the obvious, if your goal is to be a decent person that gets along with folks, the exact wrong thing to do is what Anna Kasparian did. But it tells me that she's not trying to be that at the moment.
Yeah.
She's on her villain arc for some reason.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm
It's just more
sorry.
fun.
Maybe. I mean, there's got to be an endorphin charge. But first of all, I'm sorry you got to deal with this, Christina. It sounds like
Yeah.
a bad, tough situation. I hope it's not stressful or overly making you, giving you anxiety. But
Just the only problem is that, of course, people, when I came out, like, yeah, it was me, a lot of people were like, oh, this girl with, Anna has a bigger platform than I do. So I'm like, what do I do about it? I don't know, maybe talk about it to, other people who are willing to give me a platform,
Dan from the Interstate says back in 2020, when a lot of producers were leaving in that we felt like the network was being driven more by Jake and Anna's outbursts than the efforts of everyone else on the network. Yeah, I mean, they call it the main show, right? I
Yeah.
mean, if the main show is the main theme.
And someone pointed out with Emma, like I kind of feel like the same way Emma did, because like Emma did like a Jake says something ridiculous. Emma was like, you really try fair critique, and he just blew up on her, and she was being as fair and nice as she possibly could. And I was like, this is unprofessional, Jake. Emma got her start at TYT. Like, why are you treating her like this? She's not going to have any like bad blood, but you are ruining relationships with people who were useful to the network.
So I think this should make you feel better. If you feel bad at all, the label that the left. This is the enemy that has been identified. It's the left. The left is the problem. The left is this. I'm sick of the left. I'm done with the left.
prefer
I'm
to
sick
say
of leftists.
leftists are the problem.
Well, but if the four of us are the left and Emma and Sam are the left, this is exactly where I want to be. If you're identifying me as your enemy, what you've actually done is just singled yourself out as one person against a sea of very cool, reasonable, articulate people. I mean, I don't understand.
That's why
it's
with
a
her,
dumb thing to do. There's strength in numbers, not solidarity or isolation.
It's like they are isolating themselves because they use that platform. People like the Surf Song, Micah the Humus Report. They use the platform so many different types of people. But once these people are like, yo, you guys are kind of saying things that are not really good for the left in general and not helpful for like an audience that you've cultivated. Of course, they wash their hands of them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Trumpian style, like loyalty demanding.
Yeah.
You need to be 100% loyal, and that is more important than anything else. Like, you can be a crazy-ass neo-Nazi like Ben Glebe as long as you're loyal, but, like, if you had 99%, as they love to say, 99% similar politics, If they're disloyal, then you just throw them away like garbage.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
really gotta look at yourself when you say things like, I realized a lot of people I had problems with were actually reasonable. Oh, and
Yeah.
at the exact same time, all the people I thought were reasonable, I now have problems with.
Yeah.
That's you. That's just you. That there's no way it's you against the world. There's no
Yeah.
way. There's no
That's
way
why
everyone messed up and you are now doing the exact right thing. That's just not a thing.
that's why it was shocking to me when that her podcast with Jesse Single came out, where she was basically attacking Sam, Emma, the mods, Benny. I'm like, what are you doing? What the hell did Sam and Emma ever do to you? Like, they don't do the drama. Like, every time someone tries to talk about TYT to Sam and Emma, they're like, whatever, we're not going to talk about it. But now it's like, oh God, are they going to have to talk about it now? Like,
Yeah.
because Sam doesn't really. The only thing he talks about is like right-wing drama, like, which is delicious and good content and fun to watch.
Yes.
But like when it comes to interpersonal leftist drama, he's not into that.
I do like fighting the Democrats. I do like fighting the Democrats as a Democrat. I do love being a progressive in terms of keeping so-called progressives honest, right? And like
Mhm.
that my issue is, don't, if you want to define what a progressive is, then that only means that you're redefining what progressives are as you make up your mind. And this
Yeah.
is what I mean when it's like they're making up the rules.
Yeah.
I'm
And
just not on board. Like, a progressive is somebody said, if you want to know what a progressive is, look at what a liberal is and then just add things to it.
yeah.
Like, we don't
Sure.
want more government programs without transparency and without oversight and this kind of thing, right? And so it's like, okay, so maybe on the political typology scale, there's a place for progressive amongst all these other ones.
I
That's
might
good
add
enough.
the caveat: listen to what a liberal says and imagine they meant it.
Yeah.
That's a progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a dog in the near vicinity? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
And I saw
Dog
petting
sitting.
motions.
Yes, this Paisley, I would show her. She's a very beautiful, piercing blue-eyed, gray blue schnauzer.
Is the webcam possible to move? Is that allowed?
Let's see. Paisley. Oh no, she's gonna lay down.
Uh,
Can you get up? You wanna get up?
Dan from the intersection says, more needs to be said about Christina's great point. Jank made the Ben Glebe mistake with Jimmy Dore and Dave Rubin.
Yep.
Jank used
Yep.
TYT to help build their platforms against others' wishes. Yeah, and so,
And warnings.
and I do, if you want to make more of a point about that, please feel free. But real quick, I love that they became content for him to criticize.
Yeah.
It's like
He's profited at every
brought
step
him
of the
on.
direction.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there you go. That's a great way to articulate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and I started watching TYT once Dave Rubin started talking shit about the network, and Anna was very hurt because she thought that they were friends and all that, and they all did because they wanted Dave was all like, I'm going to be the classical liberal and like not be like this hard-on progressive like Jake and Anna and the rest of the network is, which was again, it's I think opinion.
Classical liberal, man.
Yeah, but look what happened. He was quiet at first, but then he started talking shit about TYT. And he was starting to build a platform over that. And same with Jimmy Dore, which I will say this, I saw those red flags about Jimmy Dore after Hillary, won the election. I slowly, and Dan probably obviously because he produced. I started, while I was watching, I was like, okay, Jimmy Dore is starting to lose his mind. I'm like, how? And the fact that they kept it on for like 3 more years, I was like, that was, they really tried to like, but he was peddling like conspiracy theories about Hillary Clinton having Parkinson's and all this stuff, especially on his own, YouTube channel that TYT owned. It was TYT Comedy, if y'all remember that.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, he's not really doing like. I wish I'd raised concerns about Jimmy Dore, but I just, but I'm like, you know what? I see what's going on with Ben Glebe. We've seen it before with Dave Rubin, Michael Tracy, Jimmy Dore.
It's like worse
I'm
now
gonna say
because
something.
it's not just that Glebe has an opinion about random things. It's this one very serious thing that is really not debatable, and they're just bringing him on to be unhinged. Now, look, who here has been unfollowed? I was unfollowed by Anna, and I always say nobody puts
Never got
letter
followed
hack
in the
in a
first
corner.
place.
Yeah, but
so-
there was a great moment
Same,
where
Andrea.
Andrea replied to. This was a while ago. Andrea replied to Anna Kasparian, and she said, "Oh, suck my balls." That's
Yeah,
how
I got
she
blocked by her
replied
a
to
long
you.
time ago.
And I was like, that was great. I was like, I like both these people, and I love that they're yelling at each other. But now it's like, those days are gone.
Yeah. And everyone's like, you should like leak DMs and do all this. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. Like everyone says I should,
Good.
but I'm like,
No.
nah.
Good for you.
I'm like, nah. Again, there's still some respect for her. You know, there's still side of me protecting her. You know, like I'm always gonna feel that because of all that we've been through. But I'm like, I'm not gonna do that because it's like a lot of personal stuff that she would talk
And
about
it's
and
just
I would talk about.
underhanded.
Yeah,
It's
like
dishonorable.
like I'm better than that.
Exactly.
I was like, I remember being like, oh, unfollow? That's weird.
That's the
why,
thing. Like,
why
it's
would you
better to be
unfollow
blocked
me?
than to be unfollowed.
Just mute me.
You know, because if you're blocked, it's like, oh, this bitch hates me. If you're unfollowed, the passive aggression, it oozes passive aggression.
But
I'm all
only
for
on
all
Twitter.
of it.
Only on Twitter, not Instagram. So
I think she unfollowed me on Instagram. I can't even find her account unless she. Well, I don't know. But I was like, weird. Couldn't handle this like
It is
adults.
Oh, this
Apparently not.
is a great point. Dan's practically on the show right now.
Yeah.
TYT is doing
True.
more in public than any DMs could reveal. That's
Yeah.
great point.
True.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
why the majority poor fam is the best in my opinion. Like without a doubt.
Yeah,
Like,
that
because they can take criticism. They'd be like, and
Yeah.
also too, Sam and Emma go with times. Like, yeah, they use terms like birthing person and stuff like that. Like, it's not a big deal to them. Like, yeah, like they use inclusive language. Like, it's not a big deal. They don't feel offended by it or anything. Awesome, cool. That's how it should be for all like left leaning like networks. You got to go with the times. You got to move. Like things the times are changing.
Yeah, I always listen to younger people as a rule. Because that's what I wanted adults to do when I was young. And so now it's like, you tell me. Well, fuck. I've got nothing to lose by listening to the younger generations.
Yeah. I'm
I
30.
think so.
Right?
I'm going to be 28 in a week.
Boom. Hey, happy birthday.
Oh, damn.
Don't say it yet.
Soon.
What day?
Actually,
I don't know.
Matt was supposed to come for my birthday, but he had other, dog, issues.
My 3-legged dog had an operation on her one front leg.
Yeah.
And I had to carry her around for a month.
Yeah.
Oh, you
I guess I could have brought her.
You could have. It would have been fine.
Dan from the Interstellar was there.
Yeah, Dan. Oh my God, we got so hammered and like we live streamed my birthday party and we were so wasted. And a lot of people, Don can confirm, I showed Panty on stream quite a bit.
Wow. I wish I had been there because I would have taken over that live stream.
Oh, of course.
I would have just sat right in front of the camera.
And I also would have showed some Panty.
Like it's like you're like doing the nature documentary. And as we can see here, apparently everyone else is drunk and won't remember this. So
yeah,
tequila has a strange but humorous effect on most humans, as you can see from these jokers in the background.
Here we have the high-pantied South Carolinian.
Yes. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Like I was like, I hate turning 30, but also too at the same time,
Dan from the Interference says,
my
name's Matt.
One of my friends, they were a couple. They volunteered for me with Bernie. Oh yeah, he definitely would have sang Michael Jackson with us. Of course he would, Dan. So one of my friends, their name's Francine and Bopper. Give Francine gave Bopper a new hairstyle recently. it's giving like David Crosby. Like,
Oh,
they literally just shaved this part of Bopper's hair, like just this, and so she's got all this hair right here, and I'm like, you know what? You two love each other so much. I couldn't do that. I could not do that.
Okay. Look, Andrea, I'm looking at a calendar. Just let me mark down when your birthday is so I don't
It's
forget.
next Friday.
31st.
That's correct.
Nice.
Okay. No, I'm in town, so I won't be distracted.
What does that mean?
I'm leaving town the next day.
Ah,
Not really.
law
I'm
finally
going.
caught up with you.
I'm going to Augusta.
Wait, Augusta, Georgia?
Yeah, I'll be right there. I know. I'm like
Oh my God,
driving by.
What are you doing there? How long are you going to be there?
It's Comic-Con just for a day.
What?
It's like
Wait.
right there, though, right? So maybe we can coordinate.
Wait. So June
1st.
So June. Me too.
Oh, you're going to be in Augusta?
At the because it's literally right there.
It's like,
It's at that DoubleTree Hilton, right?
yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going too.
I think
You're gonna be at
legally
the Augusta
obligated to stream
Comic-Con.
together.
Yes.
Come on, that's awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna dress up as Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn from Joker 2.
Oh, nice. I'm going as the letter hack. I don't know if you know the letter hack. It's easy.
Does that
Letter hack?
include
Oh
the
my
tracksuit?
gosh.
You almost just look like you're going to Target or something. Same
Yeah.
outfit.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
that's
so
killer.
fucking
No
cool.
way. Cool.
Are you
All
going as a
right.
guest or as a?
I'm a guest.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
I'm
hang on
not.
too.
I'm not working. I'm not working.
Yes.
This is awesome. Yeah, I'll be there. That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Sweet. Okay, we'll have to coordinate.
Yes.
And hold on. Yeah, and it's not like the largest Comic-Con, but I like that. I've been to so many in the last few years that were huge, and it's just like, ugh, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we done
Yeah.
talking about TYT and
Yes.
I think
that
so.
stuff? You got any other
Yeah.
comments you want to make about it? I think we
I have
covered
a
the
comment.
basis. Yeah.
Fuck them.
Okay. I do think we covered that base. Okay. Check this out. I want to play a clip and then we can talk about it. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of long. Is that okay?
Yeah.
No.
What's
Hold
the
on. Hold on a second.
It's
Let me make sure I got
45
the right
minutes.
one up.
clip?
Left past 11, is that a thing? We got a super chat. The answer, it will be. Once we get to 100 episodes, we're going to do Left Past 11, which is the sequel to this show.
And every 100 episodes, we move it up an hour. Eventually, it'll result in us having a week break.
Well, then we're going to do a prequel. Left before 10.
And it's going to be riddled with CGI, is the thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's unavoidable.
Okay, hit me up in the private chat if you want me to stop this at any point. Okay. Here we go. This is RM Brown. So that'll be the, and it's just it's a clip of his movie. So this will be his voice. Very funny. They're all saying stop.
It's just me. What the fuck? It's not there. It's not very funny. This
Jake
is me.
said you beat him to it. This is the abuse I take here. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, I beat him to it because he didn't do it.
Oh, damn. Okay. Terrence spoke at, what the hell is this crap? Oxford. What is that? This is where I get a little more, I don't know, Terrence. Here we go. Check this out.
Well, let's say you put a dime times a dime. Go ahead. Oh, let me get this out. Say you take a dime times a dime. You put that in your calculator.
Yeah.
It says 1 cent. 0.10 times 0.10 is 1 cent. But we know a dime times a dime is a whole dollar. But the banks gives us money based on that evaluation.
Well,
Is that fair?
I don't know, Terrence.
And I might get shot about talking about this right now. But I've got a book coming out
No, you
called
won't.
Does a dollar times a dollar equal a dollar, or does a dollar times a dollar equal $2?
Whoa, goddammit to hell did this make the math nerds of the world. They collectively went like this.
Wrong.
I do like that Terrence Howard is like, if they heard me saying this, they'll get my ass, you know? I kind of do hope there's some like math death squad that's like, we can't have this getting out. What Terrence is saying. But what Terrence Howard is saying here is like a dime times a dime, that's 1/10 times 1/10, that equals 1/100th. You know, so it goes down. You know, the bank is tricking us with that. I think the banks are probably tricking us in some other ways, but let's get a math nerd on TikTok to talk about that. Is this true? Let me go to TikTok.
Quick multiplication lesson for everybody that agrees with Terrence Howard.
Give him a break.
A dime is 1/10 of a dollar.
No.
A dime is a unit of measurement. It measures how many pennies. 10 pennies equals a dime. You don't multiply a dime times a dime.
Stop.
You can only add how many ever dimes you have. What he did when he was talking was change the context of the dime. So he said a dime times a dime is a dollar. No, a dime times 10 equals a dollar.
Right. Okay.
So if you're going to use a dime for a holding place for just a general number 10, then yes, a dime times 10 equals a dollar.
I get it now. Okay, got it. You know, he's pissing the math nerds off. They're like, no, Terrence.
No, Terrence.
There's no such thing as a dime times a dime.
Okay. Am I crazy? Who at Oxford, who claims in front of the student body at Oxford that money, that currency and numbers are what the fuck, man?
I'm still trying to get over dime times a dime. What is that? Like, can we see a demonstration of that?
0.10 times 0.10. He thinks is 10 cents times 10 cents.
Does he
Because
think that, or did
0.10 as a dollar is not the same as a tenth.
Listen, I didn't do so great in math growing up, but for some reason, something changed when I went to college and made all A's at math. Even I'm like, what? That doesn't add up.
He says 1 times 1 equals 2. He's been saying that since 2015. He's on that train. He says we have to stop teaching our kids that 1 times 1 equals 1. Now, you can.
That.
This is math. You can logically figure out the logic. You know what I mean? You can look into it a little bit and be like, "Oh, I get it. I see where I went wrong." He embraced it. And this is what I was saying. Like, if you have an idea you think is your original idea, verify that.
No wonder he got replaced in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
He also couldn't do math. He couldn't divide or screen time by paycheck to figure out how much he was getting paid per scene he was in.
Anybody who says you put that into your calculator and then you do this, like, that's a huge calculator. But like, you have to you put that into your calculator, right?
What if I don't have
it's like, no.
Can I put it into someone else's calculator? Hey, Jake, can I borrow your calculator?
It's just when you say something that doesn't make any sense, you go, think about that. Great. It's like, think about that.
My phone.
How about you just tell me?
You look dumb. But
here's what I think. Just walking through that tragedy, here's my take on it. Usually surrounded by people who are so thrilled to have Hollywood there that they don't want to offend him by disagreeing with any dumb thing that he says. Which is not to say that he says a lot of dumb things. It's just the problem with being famous. If you do say a dumb thing, you're rarely told, and then it just locks in.
Yeah.
But the other problem is that he is losing his ability to read a crowd. And he was talking in sort of woo language. And like, well, maybe people will take this seriously and literally, but if they don't, maybe they'll assume I'm being artsy and I'll get away with saying it then. But he was in a place where people are like, no. And it should be like that there. That's a place where we brew up our best nerds. We must have people who say, That's not technically correct.
Yeah.
Good.
Where's Ben Shapiro when you need him?
Good point. It is the simplest thing to be disproven.
Yes.
And he is sitting there acting like he is dropping knowledge on these people in a way that none of you ever thought of this, did you? And it's like, no, we didn't think of it because we were taught how it is.
Yeah.
And
You
it's
could do the
not
same thing.
that.
You'd be like, an apple seed times an apple seed is less than an apple. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I worked so hard on that pun, and it just I was angry when I said it. I didn't even like it.
I'm doing
I
a
didn't even
poll.
hear it.
I'm doing a
Oh,
poll
It
in my
wasn't
chat.
worth it.
Uh-oh.
1 times 1 equals 1, 2, third option. Dude, what?
See results.
Okay, I'll end poll. 60% said 1.
Wow. You got a bunch of geniuses.
30% said, dude, what? Which, that's not wrong.
Yeah, that's not.
10% said 2, I think.
Oh, hi,
They
Terrence.
were just joking. Yeah, right. Terrence and his buddies are here. His math buddies are here. But then, okay, so here's the other thing where he said, and this lets me know that there's something else going on here. When he goes, I'll probably get shot for saying this.
I hope.
Did he though? Did he though? Did he though? I mean,
I'm
he had the.
That's the truest thing he said.
Oxford had the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever, and they clearly didn't take a chance.
They did not meet the opportunity.
what, throw a firework in his direction.
Scrambling to get a revolver out.
I think that maybe
telling
that is I don't know. It's definitely delusional. But then to also it's a level of paranoia to be like, they're gonna shoot me. Who's they? Why would they? People say dumb shit all the time and nobody cares.
I care. Deeply.
I mean, somebody's got to.
I wish I didn't.
I just want to be clear. I will always be grateful to Terrence Howard for Hustle and Flow.
One of the greatest. I love that
Delightful
movie.
film.
I
Delightful.
love that movie.
But
The opening monologue is so good.
yeah,
Where
everybody
he
who
says,
saw it.
Man
I
is like a dog.
I personally liked him in the movie Glitter, the Academy Award worthy movie starring Mariah Carey. That came out during 9/11.
He was good in that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He carried a lot of weight.
I'm a fan of 9/11.
I know.
I'm not going to touch that with a significantly pole of any length.
Also, my first introduction to Terrence Howard was I don't know if you guys remember this miniseries called The Jacksons: An American Dream, about how the Jackson 5 came about.
Oh yeah.
He played Jackie, like the oldest of Jackie Jackson.
Was that his first thing?
I think that was. His first thing he ever did.
I
Yeah.
always preferred the Jackson 6. I thought that they had just more range.
Yes, Tito 2 he carried that.
I was gonna say Janet broke out on her own.
Yeah.
But there was because they should have had the Jackson 6. But
I don't know anything about the Jacksons.
Now I'm just thinking Hustle and Flow. That's such a good movie.
Well, my only point was it came out in 2005, and he's had the better part of 20 years of people being like, loved Hustle and Flow, loved Iron Man. I'm like, I get it.
What was the one
hard
with Richard Gere where they were a journalist chasing down a war criminal? Was that called Fox
Richard
Hunt
Gere.
or something? That was a good one too.
Yo, I don't know if you guys are right. You know, Richard Gere, big advocate for Palestine, huge advocate for Palestine.
Oh, cool.
Go Richard Gere.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I never believed the rumors.
Yeah.
I read it in a Howard Stern book, and I was like, you can't believe this. You can't believe any of this.
Max, what the hell are you doing?
Oh man.
Well, it's 11:31 p.m. on the East Coast.
I just got to toss one thing out there because there's a stealth thing that I think Terrence Howard might be doing. which is to say, if you guys, I invite you to share in this plan because it's what I intend to do. If you're ever threatened by somebody in a credible way, but it's not interesting, like for example, you make an enemy with a criminal record who carries a gun, and they say they intend to shoot you, and you're checking the windows with a reasonable expectation of being shot. What you should instead do is tell everybody that if you get shot, it's because, and then fill in the blank with something wild, absolutely wild. For
That's
example,
a great idea. That's really
math
good.
conspiracy, right?
That's really good. I like that idea a lot. Does anyone want to shoot me?
What if he's fulfilling a bet with some buddies and I bet you won't do this. How much? Go to Oxford and tell him
I bet you a dime times a dime that you
currency is the same as numbers. Go tell him.
Look, I know
that's
you.
funny as shit.
We angered that coked up producer, and he said he was going to shoot us on our front lawns. Here's the thing: it might happen, it might not. We're going to try to avoid it, but let's have some fun with it, Terrence. Go tell him the math thing.
That is
tell them they're after you for that.
Everyone thought that was the Jake's it, by the way. That's hilarious.
It did seem like it.
I thought it was coming too. Let's read some of these. Donald James X, member for 20 months. I'm going to be member no matter what Andrea says.
As if I'm telling people to stop giving me free money for no reason.
Anti-corporatist member for 11 months. I posted a 30-second short of the cicadas this afternoon. They're deafening. Feel free to react to it. Oh, on his channel. You should check that out. I spent Pitchfork Dragon $5. I spent 3 years making Anna and Jake read my super chats for calling out their bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Pondering Politics. Josiah, I gotta get Josiah back on my show. He would come on this show.
Sharing is caring, dude. What the fuck?
$9.99 super chat is left past 11 a thing.
It is now.
Christina, do you watch Pondering Politics?
No, I don't.
It's good.
I should. I need to like expand more.
Serious politics, like not it.
I prefer postulating politics personally. Much superior channel.
That's awesome. Let me look up.
Using politics, pretty good.
Hold on.
Actually, Christina, she might not be aware of this. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I was joking. I was saying what I was typing, joking around.
I'm sorry. That was I ruined it. I ruined the pacing.
It's okay.
Christina, I was just gonna ask for context. Do you know what the Jakes it is?
What?
The Jakes.
You're about to get a demonstration.
All right.
Pay attention.
Yeah, you are.
Jakes it. Here, before we all go, check this out.
I don't know if y'all can hear this.
I can't.
It is.
Can you turn up the volume?
Too, they're flying all over these freaking trees. There's so many of them. Oh my god.
So where? I don't know if the anti-corporatist is still hanging out. Where? Oh yeah, he is. Oh, so where was that anti-corporatist? Christina, the anti-corporatist. Are you familiar?
When you answer this question, as well as zip code. Thank you.
I'm dying to know where that was. Because I have been asking people around the country if they're having that same thing. Where?
His front yard. The front yard.
Oh, okay. So Pacific Northwest? I don't know.
Makes sense.
Don't dox yourself if you
Bigfoot lives there, right?
Yeah. There's a movie about Bigfoots coming out. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I saw the trailer and was like, I'll watch it. Jesse Eisenberg is one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. But Atticus Among Us. Cicadas taste good. People are saying, oh, I haven't heard that. I'm over it. I'm so done with them. That's what my entire town was like for the last month, and it finally stopped today.
Mm,
So anyway,
nice.
is there anything else anybody wants to talk about or share or comment on?
Absolutely.
Andrea's like, Matt wants to go. Let's stay all night.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
That's true. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I sent that message when I injured myself, but I've recovered enough to show up.
So how responsible of you to get injured and go, first, let my co-host know I might not be there.
Yeah, I mean, well, first, let me cry for about 2 hours straight. Then second, let them know that I'm not going to be there, and then show up anyway.
Surprise.
Keep them guessing.
Yeah.
Well, Christina, thank you so much for being here. Everyone who's not subscribed or following Christina, please do that. Link to her Twitch.
Cosmopolitics everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
Link to the Twitch
I have a
is
question.
in the description. Oh, yes, Andrea.
So
by all
when
means.
can I come back on movie night?
Oh, would you want to come on for our Big Gay June?
Big Gay June?
Yes, we are doing a Pride Month in June. We only have like.
Well, I've gained a couple pounds over the last few months, so thank you for noticing.
What movie? Andrea, do you have one in mind?
I mean, we do have a few films in mind. We're still like, the first one we're doing is Call Me by Your Name, starring Timothée Chalamet and no one else. So we're still doing like, I wanted to do The Favorite. Like, we got a few. We might
have to be gay movies.
Well, yeah, LGBTQ plus movies. Right. So like, I want to do To Wong Fu or like Breakfast at Pluto so bad, but like,
that's the problem. I don't really like gay people. You know, I don't want to watch their movies.
Clip it.
I'll come in July when we can watch some not gay movies.
Well, actually, we're considering doing Deadpool and Wolverine. Well, we got it. There's a few films that are
that's
like
a gay movie. I've seen some screenshots of it. It's definitely a gay movie.
Of course.
It might qualify.
People are like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Deadpool's a bottom," and I'm like, y'all don't know Deadpool's pansexual? Like, what's going on here? Like, come on, you haven't watched the first two movies?
I think anything goes when it's Deadpool. Anything goes.
Right.
Yeah, I would like to see Andrea back on that show sometime. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I gotta ask publicly so that there's pressure. I gotta start the pressure campaign.
Yeah.
We need at least 3 messages to every host of movie night every 36 hours until I'm on there.
How nuts would it be to do a Left Past 10 movie night extravaganza crossover where we had 8 of on here at once? Just
honestly, I think Conan would kill himself. I'm pretty sure.
Well, that can be part of the show. That's
yeah.
You know.
I would have mute control. No.
There you go.
No, that I've been wanting to do that. I think it would be really fun to just have like so many people that was just like nuts, and we all just default to
chaos,
hanging out in our own chat to have conversations.
Yeah.
Sometimes
that's the last place I would hang out.
Well, sometimes I'll say something in my chat and then put it up on screen. Here's something to put up on screen. Pitchfork Dragon, $5. My favorite thing about cicadas is watching people complain about them on TV from Santa Rosa, California. Santa Rosa, California, where the Charles Schulz Museum is, which is the curator made this book over my shoulder. The curator of that museum, I'm trying to get him on the show. How cool would that be?
I'm down to get anybody on any show as long as I'm not there.
0PE $4.99 super chat. Thank you. I remember years ago my local news did a segment in cooking and eating cicadas. It was gross AF. LOL. Okay, so Strackbine, not a super popular name. There's
More like Strack Bean.
Well, if you're from Texas, yes.
Or
there's a guy, Noah Strackbine in Pittsburgh, who is a sports commentator or broadcaster. And there is another Strackbine in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm not sure there's any relation. I've never been introduced to them. I forget her first name now. Been a while since I looked this up. Had a book on gourmet insects. So like this was like late 90s, counting on the collapse of society in some sort of post-apocalyptic setting where we're all going to have to eat bugs. So they put out a cookbook of sorts. And I was like, kind of cool to have the same last name. Also gross. I'm not even going to read the book.
That's a good book to just have in your collection. So that, like when the apocalypse happens, like that's when you read it, you know?
Yeah, there was this last guy with my last name who was like a historian on the Civil War. Like he was this white dude who like I think Jon Stewart had him on a few times to debate the Civil War with like a conservative and like explain stuff. I'm like, oh, I wonder if we're related because the way my last name is spelled is not the most common form. Like it's Oakes, not Oaks, and people are like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, I'm Irish, English, whatever the hell. I'm a mutt.
In regards to this super chat, please put it on video. So, I met on LinkedIn. I saw someone who was doing screen print color separations with the last name Strackbine while I was doing screen print color separations with the last name Strackbine. And so I reached out and said, I'm not kidding. This is no kind of a scam. To prove it, you don't even have to reply.
Yeah.
My name is Strackbine, and I'm a color separator for the screen print industry. And this is where I work, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you can look at my LinkedIn profile. It's not new. It's an old profile. And they got back to me and they were like, wow, that's pretty cool. And we struck up a correspondence. And then they said, hey, my family is putting together a cookbook and we're all contributing recipes. Do you want to be in it? And I was like, yeah. So I got my grandmother. I forget what the recipe was. I got my grandmother to supply me with a recipe and I sent it to them and they put it in the book. Isn't that awesome? So anyway, making friends is a virtue. And I know that from past experiences.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone exists like in any public forum with my last name. I know because I search it often.
Yeah, I mean, there are people with my last name. I mean, there's a few. I mean, the only thing I have, I'm related to someone who's semi-famous. His name is Parker Bowman III. He's actually like a world-famous bowler. Like he's like a big champion of bowling. And also Bruce Springsteen is like a bit of a family friend because we're from the same town and the same borough in Jersey. So like, my dad's Freehold. But some of the best Italian food ever, Federici's. Check it out.
It sounds good.
Oh my
now
God,
I'm hungry.
It's amazing.
Now I'm hungry. I'm gonna have to go.
I'm hungry too. Just kidding. I've never eaten food in my life, and I won't start now.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I saw
You should.
You know, I haven't been eating meat for a while. And it's tough in the South because everywhere.
The last time I ate meat was on the Bernie campaign. When Bernie sunk, I was like, I'm never eating meat again.
Which campaign?
2020?
Wow. I thought you had been off it longer than that.
No, I was in, I think it was March of 2020, like March 2nd or something. It was like, you know, one of the days after it all fell apart. But I was mobile, so I was trying restaurants. And, you know, I had already made the decision I'm going to stop meat this year. And then, you know.
Well, I was out on this farm in the pasture and I saw this cow that was like shaking real bad. And I said, now I want jerky.
That's extremely offensive, by the way. That is ableist. That is carnivophobic. And more importantly, it's just not funny.
Look, okay, you can't offend a cow, one.
That's not true.
You can't offend people via a cow, number two.
That's not true.
It's a dad joke, which rhymes with bad joke, number 3. And I don't have to go any further than that.
Not in foreign languages.
What?
Does it rhyme? Does dad and bad rhyme in Arabic?
Rad.
No, we don't have time for that.
Yeah, that's right. Roll the credits.
Just don't twist the knife too much.